love this time of year because we're hitting the stretch run in WCC Women's Hoops. Critical matchup tonight in the Rose City. Portland Pilots hosting St. Mary's at the Child Center. Both clubs in great position for one of those coveted top 4 slots in the conference standings with the postseason tournament looming. Good evening, everybody. Ant Schatz, Jennifer Mountain, former Gonzaga great and Santa Clara head coach. Delighted to have you with us. All right, J-Mo, thoughts on tonight's game? You had the first time these guys were supposed to play postponed in early January. Now you're talking about Portland in third place, St. Mary's right behind. Lots at stake.
Absolutely. Hottest team in the conference right now. They've won 3 straight. And there's 4 teams kind of jumbled up in the middle there. And you can go from 3rd to 6th or vice versa really quickly. This is a must-win at home for the Pilots moving forward.
All right, tail of the tape. I always love to look at some of these numbers, J-Mo, especially when you break them down. Let's see what jumps out at you as we head into tonight's all-important game.
Well, right off the bat, you look at opponents' percentage and points per game. St. Mary's has given up 70 points, and that right there runs into what Portland wants to do because they want to get up and down the floor and they create a lot. And then look at the shooting percentage. St. Mary's right there kind of really taking it to them. They have a lot of kids that can shoot the 3, and Portland has struggled from the 3-point line, and they need to get hot.
All right, let's talk about this Gales club. Allie Bamberger, transfer from UW, coming off the ACL, immediate impact kid.
She really has, and she has found a home. Super happy, great fit. She does everything from their leading scorer, rebounder. She scores inside out. Portland has a huge task at hand in guarding her this evening. She needs a great game to get going, and they've really relied on her inside.
All right, if you're St. Mary's and you're Paul Thomas, head coach of the Gales, what are your keys to victory tonight?
Well, number 1 is handle the pressure that Portland's going to throw at you and limit your turnovers. And then control the low role players. I mean, they're going to focus on Fowler and Lucy Cochran, but you can't let the other ones go off from the perimeter. Quality looks from the 3-point line because they really can shoot the 3. And then rebounding. St. Mary's has been a great rebounding team for a long time, and that's going to be a huge key.
All right, over to the Pilots. Alex Fowler, Batman, is missing Robin because Haley Andrews has that knee injury. So this young woman will be shouldering a lot tonight and the rest of the way.
Oh, absolutely. And she does it all for them. Rebounds, scores, defends. She's expanded her range to the 3-point line and looking to do that a little bit more often. Portland needs a quick start from her, and they need a lot of point production in the paint for her tonight to have success.
Pilots awfully good at home. What are they going to have to do to secure a win tonight?
Well, they have done a great job of protecting the 3-point line. They need another performance because St. Mary's can really shoot it. Keep the ball in front and limit penetration to the paint. Pressure the ball defensively, and then there's that rebounding. Yep. They want to get second chance points tonight, and that's going to be a focus.
All right, let's see which one dials it up and gets away with the victory in terms of those keys. Let's settle in for a good one, everybody. Pilots hosting St. Mary's here at the Child Center. Portland trying to solidify its hold on third place. Lineups, opening tip coming up.
We have all been challenged and wonder, where do we go from here? Find your purpose in a welcoming community. Question assumptions and discover truths. You could join a team researching ways to prevent cancer. Immerse yourself in social justice. Challenge yourself to rise above expectations and apply your knowledge to make a living and a difference. Engage in the pursuit of education with a deeper purpose at the University of Portland.
Welcome back to the Child Center, home of the Portland Pilots. Tonight, the Pilots will host St. Mary's, the hottest team in the West Coast Conference at the moment. Winners of 3 straight. U of P coming in at 15-5, 5-3 in conference play. Good enough for 3rd place, while the Gales stand at 12-10, 6-5 in WCC place. Right behind Portland, just 1 back in the loss column, and they are in 4th place, are the Gales. Starting lineups looking like this. Whedon is that 3-point ace, the local kid out of the Portland metro area for St. Mary's. And you look all the way down to Bamberger. It's the inside-outside presence for this St. Mary's club. We talked about Allie in the open. We got to keep an eye on her. She really makes them go mid-range and down on that low block. Flug, Shear, Mulheim, Fowler, Cochran, obviously missing Haley Andrews out of that starting lineup just a week ago today, injuring her knee, out for the rest of the season. Rose Flug has been terrific standing in as a starter.
She really has. She's had tremendous games, and getting Emmy Shear back in the lineup tonight will be a huge key for Portland.
There's a good look at Mulheim. All-time leader in triples for the Portland Pilots. Pilots coming off of a victory over LMU. They played them back-to-back, heartbreaking loss against LMU, and then won game 2, 64-49, while St. Mary's defeats Santa Clara. Their last time out were underway. Pilots in their home purples and black trim. Gales in their white roads.
Well, I like this matchup right here. Fowler right to the rim. And that's going to be important for her to score a lot of points in the paint tonight.
Fowler, the leading scorer for this Pilot Club, one of the leading scorers in the WCC. What else is new? But again, no Haley Andrews to complement the scoring of Fowler. Who's going to step up? 10 on the shot clock for the Gales.
Well, Portland just put so much pressure on you, doing a nice job defensively of winding the clock down here for St. Mary's.
Bamberger, shot clock violation. Good half-court defense for the Pilots.
Great start defensively. And Bamberger twice. First time she caught the ball, you know, you got Lucy in that rim protection, gave it up, and then did a nice job there at the end, kind of forcing that little of a quick shot with the shot clock running out.
Good defense inside. Dalton would have none of it. It'll be the Pilots' ball. Plenty of time on the shot clock.
Well, you can see right from the get-go, Portland is just trying to drive it right down their throat to the paint.
Crucial game for both clubs. Everybody vying for position with the conference tournament coming up.
Well, and this conference just has so many teams that are competitive. Like we talked about, I mean, you can go from 3rd to 6th and back and forth pretty quickly with wins and losses. And like we said, St. Mary's pretty hot right now.
So turnover St. Mary's. 3 straight victories for the Gales. Santa Clara, Pacific Santa Clara again.
Yeah, swept Santa Clara. That's a big rivalry game right there.
Jay Moe ought to know, former head coach
St. Mary's,
Santa Clara.
A big rivalry right there.
Whistle away from the ball against St. Mary's. So Bamberger picks up her first, team's first. Little confusion there. Pilots ball, they'll inbound it underneath their own basket, leading 2-0. We're early in the first quarter here at the Child Center.
And Coach Thomas can't believe that call right there. Not happy with that.
Cochran, this time the flip over the left shoulder is good.
Nice job of just being patient. Nice little jump hook. I mean, she's got that both ways, right or left.
Cochran giving you 9 points and 7 boards. Again, really good passer as the foul will go against the Pilots. And Mulheim, her first, team's first. But what Cochran does is swat shots, and she's got 64 of them and counting, #1 in the country in blocks per game.
She's done a tremendous job. She's had a couple games throughout the season where she's had 9 blocks.
Crazy stuff.
That's a lot.
And when she doesn't block a shot, it makes headlines.
Yes. There's one right there.
There it is right there on cue. Thank you, Lucy Cochran, making us look awfully good. And again, establishing position down low, the Pilots.
Well, if you're Portland, you know, Bamberger picked up that foul. I think you go right at her to try another, you know, draw another one here quick.
I like it. Fowler. There's the double. Cochran, mid-range short. And here comes St. Mary's. Whedon wants to push.
Can't leave her at the perimeter, that's for sure. She can really shoot it.
Great block inside. Cochran's got a couple rejections. Ball ends up in the hands of Holland. Nothing there. And Dalton gets it home. Broken play, and St. Mary's on the board.
Well, second chance points, I mean, you're going to see it all night. St. Mary's is going to crash the glass. Have to put a body on somebody if you're Portland.
So in Mulheim and Whedon, you've got the top 3-point scores for each team. That's pretty special on the floor tonight.
Yeah, not too often do you have, ooh, Shear with the turnover right there, just trying to do a little too much.
Dalton looking for Kirasome. Slip inside. Bamberger, nice job of putting it up aggressively. She got fouled. She'll go to the line. So Fowler got her first, team second.
Nice little dump down and just a good job of drawing contact, getting herself to the free throw line.
So Bruno onto the floor for the Pilots, as is Keely Frawley.
And Maisie Burnham also checking in.
Thank you.
And I think this is going to be a key right here. Burnham was great the other night. They need her athleticism, energy, and she can score. And that's point production off the bench, which is going to be really important for Portland.
The transfer out of Eastern Washington had 15, 6, and 3 against LMU.
Yeah, she was great the other night.
4-3. Pilots with the lead.
And right there, you see how she's posting up down low.
You like the look. Ball tipped away, though, into the hands of Dalton.
And Coach Meek, talking to him this week, he talked about the fact that, you know, they're going to post up a lot of different guards because Andrews, that's what she used to do. And missing that, obviously, for the rest of the season, he's going to try to put other people in that position.
Second chance opportunity. Triple. Back rim and off. Flug with the board, and she wants to push.
Good rebound by Flug.
Will the Pilots be able to loosen things up?
Great first step.
Yeah,
Great
and
first step.
everything inside. So that ends the UP drought and everything inside. The question is, can the Pilots score a few from the outside to loosen things up, J-Mo?
You're absolutely right. And you know, they've really struggled from the three-point line, shooting 25% as a team.
Basket didn't want it.
That was halfway down.
Boy, it sure was. Kirasomi's got to be thinking, what the heck? Transfer out of Furman. Thought that was down. I did too.
Well, so far the pace has been kind of half court, not real fast, not a lot of transition buckets. And that's what Portland tries to create with this press.
8 on the shot clock. Nice stroke. And when that bench can help Mike Meek, that's big.
Well, and MJ Bruno coming in really has worked in the last few weeks on her game and is getting a little bit more confident, getting used to things.
Triplet was true. Whedon, that's what she does, baby. That is what she does.
Quick release.
From Milwaukee, Oregon, and a ton of Whedon family and friends here to cheer her on.
Quick release.
Whedon's got a chance to become the WCC all-time triple maker if she stays hot.
Yeah, she needs 25 to tie Jess Malone from Gonzaga as the all-time three-point shooter in WCC history.
Think about that now. That's heady stuff.
I coached Jess Malone, and I'll tell you, she could shoot it.
Whedon's
That's a big number.
Yeah, and Whedon's right there knocking at the door. If she averages another, I don't know, 3 per, she might set that record. Yep. That's huge.
Yep.
All right, 8-6. Pilots with the lead. Lucy with a couple of blocks and some points to boot. Come on back. We're just getting started here at the Child Center. at the Child Center. The hometown Pilots leading St. Mary's 8-6, 4:39 left to go in this first quarter. What do you like about the Pilots so far, J-Mo?
Lucy Cochran, 4 points, 3 blocks, tremendous start. And really, I like just her momentum. I mean, taking the ball just right at the rim. Rebounding wise, I see 7-4 in Portland's favor. I think that's going to be a huge factor as we go throughout this game, because I'll tell you, when I was coaching, rebounding for St. Mary's was their staple.
So Mikkel Meek onto the floor. An aggressive take by Burnham. She'll go to the line.
Great execution out of the out of bounds. You can see her just wind around right here. Right off that little curl, nice. And got herself to the free throw line.
McKenna Mastora onto the floor for St. Mary's. Hannah Rapp as well. So both teams going to their benches.
Well, the biggest thing, for going to the bench is production off the bench. And Coach Meeks talked about the fact that he's had, people as of late really step up. And when you lose a player like Andrews, that becomes even a bigger factor. Good hands.
Great hands. So Bruno tips the ball in the passing lane right to herself. J-Mo, as we watch this half-court set, what do you miss most about Andrews on the floor for the Pilots? Put your coaching cap on.
Well, you just don't replace her. Let's just say that right off the bat. But her leadership, the way she runs the floor, runs the team. Plus, she's just such a dynamic player. She can score, she can defend. And Bruno, again, with the pull-up. She's got 4 points on the night. And I like her development, quite frankly, over the last 3 weeks. She's really improved. But you just don't replace an Andrews. And, she's one of the best players in the league.
Cochran with her 4th block. Unbelievable. You think you've got something right at the rim, and her ability to block shots without getting in foul trouble, unbelievable.
Long wingspan.
Gosh, I guess she's knocking at the door of 70 blocks.
Well, just her timing is just tremendous.
Yeah.
Ooh, put Bamberger in a tough spot right there.
Frawley, what she does best is rebound, but she gives it up. Jump ball will favor St. Mary's. So you think about Haley, second all-time assists as we watch this replay. 1,300 points, 450 boards, 350 assists, and 100 steals. Does it all.
She does. Both ends of the floor. And, she's a different point guard. She's a point guard that scores in the paint. She posts people up. She can shoot the three a little bit. She creates. And she's that player that wants the ball at the end of the game. There's another three by Whedon.
Whedon's got a couple triples. She's got 6 points and keeping St. Mary's sniffing.
Yeah, and if you're Portland, you cannot give that kid looks at the rim from the three-point line all night.
.305 left to go in the first quarter. Short on that. Frawley again. Look at that. Didn't hesitate and mops up with the deuce.
I'll tell you, Frawley is that player, I talk about it all season long, that doesn't show up in the stat sheet all the time, but that kid plays so hard, rebounds, got a little putback, and that's what Meek needs from her.
So Meek with the pick all the way to the cup and finishes.
Good job of protecting the ball right there on that finish. And this is where St. Mary's can get in trouble in a hurry, just turning the ball over.
Meek picks up that foul, her first, team's third.
He talked about live ball turnovers have got to be a factor, and right there you can see Portland's pressure just struggling with it, as is St. Mary's.
Dalton and Kirasomi back on the floor for St. Mary's. Kaitu'u with her first stint, and Fowler returning to the floor.
I look at Meek's bench, and really he's got a lot of pieces that can play and produce.
Little mid-range, nobody contesting that shot.
Yeah, too easy.
Yep. St. Mary's needed that bucket, that's for sure. So here's Fowler squaring up. Bamberger's got her. Alex not afraid to shoot the three. Gets that one home.
And that's something that she's really been working on all season long. She's got 5 points on the night. Getting pretty comfortable out there at the three-point line is Alex Fowler.
8th triple of the season for Fowler. She had 7 triples last year, so she's already exceeded that. There's the dump down. Good ball movement for Bamberger.
And that was, you know, dictated off the pen or the pass to the middle of the paint there. Defense is a little late. Nice little dump down by Holland.
Well, you know, Cochran ain't on the floor, so go right up and get something established inside and go right up.
You're absolutely right.
So Holland picks up her second. Team's third. Flug, Shearer returning to the floor for the Pilots. Cochran still on the bench. Here comes Mulheim. It's just such a different defensive dynamic for Portland when Cochran is on the floor and then when she's not.
You're absolutely right. The rim protection and just the threat. Great cut there by Oh, she wants that one back.
Boy, she sure does. Pilots do a really good job on that inbounds play specifically, and Fowler missed a layup.
Yeah, to go back to Cochran, you know, not in the game. She just changes the dynamic defensively completely because the opponents really think twice about going up against her.
Ooh. Dalton tried the pick. Mulheim. Rimming off. Dalton hustles for the rebound, and here comes St. Mary's down by 6.
That's a good shot for her. That's just got to be her first thought, not second or third right there.
40 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Inside look. Fowler ends up getting it. Frustrating there for Kroko.
Should play for the last shot here. 3-second difference in the shot clock and the game clock.
And we'll see what Rose chooses to do. Eight on the shot clock. Flug looking for a cutter. Fowler has no choice but to put it up. Not the best half-court set, as Portland burned a lot of time with Flug out there just dribbling.
Yeah, you would like to get a little bit higher quality shot. Not that she can't shoot that, but I'd like to have her out on the block instead of that.
So that'll do it. The Pilots jumped out to an early lead, and they've got the 6-point advantage going into the second quarter. 19-13. Fowler usually makes a living down low, but I'm telling you, that range is just something you've got to honor. There's the triple from Alex. 6-point lead for the Pilots heading into the second. Strong first quarter for the hometown Pilots. They lead St. Mary's 19-13 as we head into the second quarter. Bench points for Portland, pretty impressive.
Oh, huge. 10 points from your bench right in the first quarter. You know, that's going to be a key factor moving forward, not just today, but if he can get that kind of production, you know, the rest of the way, they're going to be in good shape. And then 10 points in the paint as well for Portland.
So Kaitu'u starts the second quarter, not Lucy Cochran. Lucy still waiting to get back in. Had an impressive first quarter.
Yeah, I don't anticipate her being out too long, but you know, he's got a nice system, a nice rotation going where he plays a lot of people. Good cut by Shear.
Ball up for grabs. Fowler finishes. So 7 points now for Fowler, which moves her into 7th all-time in terms of Portland career scoring. 7th all-time, and we're just getting started, J-Mo.
She's such a tremendous scorer, rebounder. I mean, she does it all for this group.
There have been some terrific scores atop the record book for the Pilots, and Alex Fowler just keeps inching closer and closer to the Lorena Lagardes, the Carol Wings, the Sheldons, the Claybos.
Checking in for the Pilots is number 30.
As Flug picks up that foul, and Cochran back on the floor.
And Flug just a little bit late, rotating defensively. Picked up that quick one. I mean, you can see the look in the eyes of St. Mary's. They don't want to go against her. And there's Shear with the block herself.
How about that? One of Portland's most dynamic defenders. Good timing there.
Well, Shear's just trying to get herself back. You know, she was out with protocol issues and just, you know, trying to get herself going condition-wise. And it's nice to have her back in the lineup if you're Portland.
7 on the shot clock. Kirasomi trying to drive on Shear. Another block. Emmy with consecutive blocks. Just back-to-back moments.
Super athletic.
Swinging it on the perimeter. Fowler throws it right into the hands of Kirasomi, and here comes St. Mary's.
Alex has got to just grab that and be a little bit more patient.
Good D by Mulheim, cutting off Whedon. Whedon's already got a couple of triples. Shearer continues to impress defensively. Mulheim is stripped.
Well, and that's the thing right there, turnovers. A lot of times we see Portland create a turnover and then right back the other way by just going a little too quick.
Bamberger aggressively gets that offensive rebound. Oh, baby, when it's going, it's golden. Whedon with her 3rd triple of the game. She's got 9.
Yeah, she got a nice little smile on her face on that one. I don't think she planned that one.
Heck no, it doesn't matter, though. It all counts in the scorebook, and her family's digging it big time.
And if you're Portland, you got to take that away because she's keeping them single-handedly in this game.
3 triples for Whedon again. St. Mary's all-time career leader in the long ball. Good look for Flug. She's been so good the last 4 games, obviously starting now for the injured Haley Andrews, and she has been rock solid for Meek.
She really has. I mean, just a tremendous job. Taking good shots, running the show for everybody.
Here's Flug running the floor. Fowler tried to post up.
Good decision.
Cochran did a good job selling that on the mismatch as Kroko got her first.
St. Mary's foul, number 22, Ellie Kroko, her
First team foul. Pilots looking at a bit of a drought as they continue to go to their bench. Mike, with a lot of confidence in the Burnhams. His daughter, Mikkel Meek. Bruno.
There's that little wraparound again, that little curl right off that in and out of bounds play. Great job by Burnham. Again, drawing contact and getting herself to the free throw line.
Whedon picks up her first, team second. You know, Burnham was the Big Sky Frosh of the Year at Eastern Washington. Transfers to the Pilots. Took her a little bit of time to get going, but as she understands Meek's system more and more, you could just see the talent on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, and just talking with him too, I mean, especially with, you know, Andrews going out, I think she's going to play a bigger factor and get maybe a little bit more playing time in spots. I mean, because she's been super productive, and when she comes in both areas, there's a steal right there. Just hustle play.
Great job by the Pilots, but well, let's see if there's a kickball. Yep, and it's going to belong to the Pilots. Everybody going to the deck for that one, J-Mo.
We had bodies all over the place.
So again, it's a high-stakes game. The Portland Pilots coming into this contest all alone in third place, but just a game back in the St. Mary's, excuse me, 2 games back in the loss column, but solidly in 4th place.
They really are, and you have Portland going on the road for the next 4 games. Ooh. So that like right there, I mean, this conference on the road is tough, and so this is a big one.
A near turnover for the Pilots. Meek flips it inside. I thought maybe she'd take that up aggressively. Flips it to Bruno, and it's a bailout foul.
Need to spread the floor just a little bit more, get a little bit more movement. Those drives, those penetrations look a lot different with everybody crowded in the paint.
Aspen Garrison, who checked in recently, picks up that foul, her first, team's 3rd.
Nice.
Beautiful, and Cochran is able to finish. That's high percentage. She's not going to miss that.
Great little pivot.
Ends a 3-minute Pilot drought. Equals the biggest lead that they've enjoyed. The Pilots basically taking control of this thing early. St. Mary's hanging around, no doubt. But the Pilots have led from the get-go.
Returning for the Gales, number 33, Allie Bamberger.
Bamberger back.
Take another look at that nice little pivot. Comes back with the right hand, just smooth.
Cochran, the transfer out of Oregon, finding a home here on the Bluff. That is for sure.
Just a great fit. And you can just see her game evolve throughout the whole season.
Nice finish by Whedon. She shows you she's just not a one-trick pony. She can get you from mid-range too. 11 now for Whedon. She gives you 12 and a half a game. Well, she's got 11.
She's having a little coming home party.
That time, Meek aggressively goes to the cup. She'll be rewarded with a couple of tosses.
Nice cut off that top screen, ball, entered to the high post area. And that, when you talk about Haley Andrews, that's one of the sets right there that he used to run for her a ton.
Garrison, the freshman out of Washington, commits her 2nd foul as Meek, with her first free throw of the season.
She dealt with an injury at the beginning of the year and has just gotten herself back in the last month. And when you miss 5-6 weeks, it takes time to get back and get into game shape, and you lose all that experience, all that game experience in the preseason.
Mastora doing a nice job breaking the press. The Gales do a nice job totally breaking the press. So the lead is 5 for the Pilots. Cochran wants it low block and loses it.
Pass just a little bit high into the outside for Lucy to get her hands on. I'd like to see that ball swung a little bit more and then maybe come back to her.
Substitution for the Pilots in is number 4, Keegan.
Frawley onto the floor. Fowler will have a seat. That quarterback, Haley Andrews, I mean, her absence is palatable. In every possession, in everything the Pilots do, and I get it, you move on, but my goodness, it's only been a week. And personally, J-Mo, I can't move on. I just can't seem to get over it.
As Mike said, you accept it, you got to deal with it, and then adapt to it.
It happens in that BYU victory, huge upset for the Pilots, and as Mike said, it was a bittersweet win because you lose Haley Andrews, turnover Gales. You get the win, and that sent shockwaves throughout the WCC. But then injury news regarding Andrews, that trumped everything in terms of, wow, are you kidding? Tell me more.
Yeah, you just, anytime you lose a player like that, there's like a grief factor where you have to deal with it. And, players step up, and I thought Rose Flug that game specifically stepped up and was huge. And now it's practice. You get to play without her for a few days, playing games without her, and just kind of get used to it.
Fifth team foul.
Hannafin,
The Pilots is number 22.
first personal, fifth team foul. So Burnham, a 76% free throw shooter, will toe the line.
She's 3 of 4 for the day already. 4 of 5 now.
Really like her game. You know, initially it was kind of a work in progress deal with Burnham, and not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there was a transition point, learning a new system. And this is a system that you have to learn. I mean, this is nonstop pressure, assignments.
And you're going from the Big Sky to the WCC. There's an adjustment there as well.
Absolutely.
So the foul on the drive.
Penalty foul to number 22.
Bruno got her first, team second.
Got to close out. High hands, close out. Quick feet, not allow that penetration to the paint.
So the Pilots have led from the opening tip, but the Gales hanging around. 27-20, U of P, under 5 minutes to go in this all-important second quarter. Here at the Child Center, Mike Meek and his Portland Pilots leading St. Mary's 27-20. J-Mo, you mentioned the fact that home cooking is really important for these Pilots as they know that a long road trip awaits them. Tonight even becomes more important when you think about that.
Oh yeah, they've got to take care of business at home, and you know, you can't control what everybody else is going to do, but you know, you're going to go on the road to Pacific, USF, St. Mary's, and Santa Clara, which, you know, 3 of the 4 are all right there in that bunch that we talked about. So this is a big one that they have to have at home, in my opinion.
Mastora, the freshman, gets the first one home. When we look at the net rankings, BYU and the Zags are at 12 and 28 respectively. The Pilots at 63. How much more do they need to move up, or do they just really need to make a run in the tournament?
Well, I mean, you'd like to be around that 50 number, but making a run in the tournament obviously would be huge. I mean, they've done it before. We've seen that firsthand, but you know, they can only control what they do. Nice take by Burnham right there.
Burnham did not hesitate and just gobbled up that baseline. She's got 7, right at her seasonal average. Boy, has she been big tonight.
Well, and I think that's going to change. I think in the next month, she's going to have point production-wise just a bigger factor, be a bigger factor.
Cochran affecting that shot.
For sure.
Another crack at it for the Gales. The lead is 7.
Penetration right there.
Cochran again affecting Bamberger's look. Here comes Portland.
And Bamberger just 1 of 8 from the field right now.
Are you kidding? Maisie does it again. She is feeling it. 9 points now for Burnham. She's had 15 a couple of times. Her career high is 25 at Eastern Washington, but you know, we'll take this.
That's her game, is mid-range. She's got a beautiful mid-range game. Gets to the rim. I mean, she's long and athletic.
Biggest lead of the game for the Pilots thanks to Burnham. 6 on the shot clock. Whedon rimming out. Cochran with the board, looking for some help. Frawley looking up, and here's Burnham.
And UP 3 of their last field, 3 of 3 from the field. Last 3 trips down.
High percentage looks as well. Burnham, come on, Maisie. Thought that was going to go too. Doesn't quit. How about it? Burnham now in double figures at 11.
And Coach Thomas is going to call a timeout and take a break here. They've got to make an adjustment with her, that's for sure.
So, if you're Thomas, are you thinking to yourself, I don't know if we scouted this Burnham kid enough?
Well, he's seen her play in the past. You know, there's been great moments that she's had throughout the season. Hasn't been in the game as much as she's played tonight, so, you know, that could be a little bit of a factor, but it's really just they're getting outplayed right now.
So again, Burnham's had 15 points a couple of times against UC San Diego, but most recently, and more importantly, JMO, against LMU, and she also had the 6 boards and 3 assists complete game.
Well, you know, when there's an injury, players step up. Their roles become different. You know, she's had experience playing in the Big Sky at a high level, so she knows that there's going to be more expected, and she's certainly stepping up to the plate.
Doing a ton with the minutes afforded her, that's for sure. So a drought for St. Mary's. 2.5 minutes without finding the bottom of the net. 6-0 Pilot run. And that's come quickly thanks to Burnham. Holland
with the offensive board right there.
Dalton misses. And the ball belongs to the Pilots. So Sewell checking into the Pilot onto the Pilot floor, and the bench, you know, you see Mike going deep into the bench.
Well, right now they've got 16 points off that bench, which may be a season high. I don't know that for a fact, but it's got to be pretty darn close.
Kaituu on the floor as well.
And St. Mary's hasn't scored in the last 2-12. 0 of their last 5 from the field.
So an 11-point lead, biggest lead of the game for the Pilots. 2:25 left to go. Kaituu, great position, banks it home.
Nice assertive move. I like to see that from Kaituu.
St. Mary's again doing a great job of breaking the press, and easy pickings for Bamberger. 5 points now for
somebody's
Alley.
not rotating back the way Coach Meek wants on that press. I mean, that's the second time that they've gotten it down low with literally no one defending them.
Bamberger gives you 15.5 a game, leading this team in scoring and rebounding with the 9 caroms. Cochran has really affected some of her looks at the basket tonight. Flug, drive, kick, Kaituu, you bet!
Nice driving kick by Flug right there.
Kaituu over her seasonal average of 4.6. That's a big stick.
And she's had moments where she's come in throughout the season and really done a nice job from the 3-point line.
So St. Mary's will keep the ball as it's knocked free, I believe, by Burnham. Burnham will have a seat. She was terrific off the bench for the Pilots.
She sure was. Oh, good hands.
Ball tipped away into the hands of Shear. Fowler. And almost had an and one.
Good job by Flug. Heads up play, saw Fowler up in transition. Got the ball up. Again, Emmy Shear with the tip. Great defense.
Fowler's so strong that she knew she was going to get hacked and still had a pretty good chance of an and one.
She sure did.
So Fowler, a 72% free throw shooter, goes to the line more than anybody else on this club, makes more than anybody else on this club as far as tosses are concerned.
I mean, she's got 8 points, but I feel like she's been kind of quiet.
It's a quiet 8. You're absolutely right. 12-2 Portland run.
1 minute left in the first half.
Bamberger hustling. Another chance for St. Mary's.
And that's a nice look for Holland right there, that mid-range. That's her game.
It's been tough sledding for St. Mary's. One out of their last 7. So the 3-point ace Whedon on the bench. Foul's going to be on the floor against the Pilots. Fowler got her. Excuse me, Sewell. My bad. Sewell with her first. 3rd team foul. Cochran.
Good job of Sewell coming over, sliding, kind of altering that shot right there.
Travel's going to go against Fowler.
Looked like she got bumped.
(39-24). 2-second differential between shot and game clock. See if St. Mary's can get something quality as Shearer commits the foul.
A little too handsy right there.
Her first, team's 4th.
Really, Portland's done a nice job of not getting into foul trouble. A lot of times we see them in the bonus early just because of the pressure that they put on.
Good D by Shearer.
Good job by Fowler.
Great job by Fowler. Sewell, jump ball, possession. St. Mary's, that's unfortunate because the Pilots were looking to create some magic to end this half.
Yeah, a little handsy on the rebound. Again, you see Fowler just doing a great job of walling up. Tough shot. She's just got to rip that thing out.
So Whedon will inbound it. Wonder if she'll get it right back. You'd think that they'd want a 3-point attempt. Swipe. Flug all the way to the rack. Can she beat it? You bet she can. Great job by Kaitu to find her. Flug releases and scores at the buzzer. That gets the crowd into it. And the Pilots have got to be happy with the 41-24 lead going into intermission. 14-2 run by the Pilots, putting the Gales in a big hole.
Yeah, just a tremendous effort. Collective team effort. Bench and starters doing a great job tonight.
Boy, this is the way you do it to end the half. Look at Rose looking up, knowing she has just enough time. Pilots by a bunch at the break.
Disappointment and adversity can be catalysts for greatness. Kathy Freeman.
Somewhere behind the athlete you've become, and the hours of practices, and the coaches who have pushed you, is a little girl who fell in love with the game and never looked back. Play for her. Mia Hamm.
I'd rather regret the risks that didn't work out than the chances I didn't take at all. Simone Biles.
It's not necessarily about outworking the person across from me. It's outworking that voice inside of my head that says, I'm too tired, I don't feel like doing it, I can settle. Maya Moore.
With a defeat, when you lose, you get up, you make it better, you try again. That's what I do in life. When I get down, when I get sick, I don't want to just stop. Everyone always says never give up, but you really have to take that to heart and really do never definitely give up. Keep trying. Serena Williams.
Champions keep playing until they get it right. Billie Jean King.
In the midst of an ordinary training day, I try to remind myself that I'm preparing for the extraordinary.
I felt like Portland was a gold mine waiting to be tapped into. This place wants to win. There's a lot of support behind us. We just have to put in the work and go do it now.
Because we had so many new guys, it was all a new experience for everybody. It was kind of just a bonding experience. Now we are in an entirely new environment, under new coaching, and we kind of get to journey through it together.
He's been in our shoes, exactly where we're at as far as being a player before.
Why Portland? Why is this the right time for you?
It's the perfect time, man. It's a sleeping giant here. This is not, it's going to be a very, very special job, and it's going to be a special place where people want to come and watch and play basketball here.
That's where we want to be. We want to be slept on like that, and we want people to doubt us because that'll just fuel our fire so much more.
Just having a loud crowd and people that are invested in us wanting to win just gives us an extra gear to be able to go to and feed off the crowd.
Just keep grinding. Wow, what a stick by Robertson.
I'll beat my chest. I'll point out to the crowd and stuff. I'm very much like legs in the sense I play with my heart on my sleeve. Yeah, he's definitely going to be up and down. He's one of those coaches that just doesn't sit down.
The coaching staff from Shantae down to TJ, Bobby, and Pope really do care about their players.
Not only the players, but also the people we are as well. And that connection is so strong. We feel like we're the family, and nothing is hidden from one another.
Coaches have gone out and found talented guys, but also guys that you want to be in the locker room with and really hang out, and bringing that all together, you're going to see the results on the court for sure.
Everyone has helped build the culture that we have now.
Steps back, the three. Oh! Christian Sholin giving the Pilots the huge one-point lead.
Every year, the non-conference is really good for us to figure out the rotations, figure out guys' roles, and it's really good that we're playing a tough non-conference. We usually try to do that to have ourselves battle-tested.
Answers with the triple, and it is a new career high for Christian.
If you go into somewhere and you don't think you can win, then you shouldn't be playing. I think we could beat anybody, and that's the mentality that our team will have. So we're going to play anybody if they want to play us.
Good defense. Great defense by Naduka. How clever was that?
We just want to establish ourselves, iron out the kinks in preseason play. We're going to play competitive teams. We're going to test ourselves so you get ready for conference play.
This is going to be our first year, so everybody's going to be gauging. I believe we can win. I'm never going to count my guys out. I'm going to stand behind my guys 100%. If I believe that we can win the conference, then why not?
Why not be able to finish number one? It's obviously what we came here to do. We know GU's great, BYU's great, LMU's gotten better again this year. Thinking they're just going to win, it's just going to be another year against Portland, but they're definitely going to have a rude awakening coming.
When I say trust me, we're going to get there, trust me, and it's going to be sooner than later.
thanks to a 14-2 run to end the half. The Portland Pilots leading the visiting St. Mary's Gales 41-24. Crucial WCC women's game here on the Bluff, and the Pilots leading from the get-go. J-Mo, this was a total team effort from starters to bench. I mean, everything working for the Pilots.
Oh, gosh, you're absolutely right. Team effort is just staple. I mean, my goodness, Maisie Burnham coming in off the bench was terrific with 11 points and just dynamic when she came in. I mean, going to the rim, cutting, free throws, and they're going to need that from her. And I thought Lucy Cochran was tremendous. I mean, she, I think, didn't score a lot, but altered and just defensively changed the game for Portland.
She's our impact player.
Yeah, 5 blocks, and you can just see, I mean, you can see in the eyes of the St. Mary's players, if they're going to go to attempt, they're trying to kick it back out because they don't want to get blocked.
Well, they didn't want to, but they did. And she also, as you mentioned, contributing with the 6 points and 3 boards.
Well, I thought what she did offensively was great. A couple times, you know, nice little pivots like we saw in that last one, but here's a chance right there. You think you have an easy one, and she comes from behind. I love that little pivot that she made, nice little finish. I mean, she is skilled around the rim, and that's going to be a thing, I think, as the season moves forward here, they're going to look to her to score a little bit more.
Let's look at some numbers, J-Mo.
Well, you look at the field goal percentage right there, 57% to 29% for St. Mary's. Rebounding category pretty close, assists really close. Turnovers really haven't been that huge of a factor other than the fact that Portland has turned those 9 turnovers into 13 points. And point production in the paint is 22-8 in favor of Portland.
Just a dominant performance by the Pilots. I like some of these other numbers, too, that kind of points out both ends of the floor. Portland running away with this one.
Well, the bench points right there, 25-4. I mean, they have a 17-point lead right there because of that. And, you know, I mentioned the 22 points in the paint. Fast break really hasn't. I think the pace is actually a little bit slower than Portland normally wants to play at. And then that, you know, 13 points off their turnovers, like I mentioned, is huge.
So the largest lead of the game is what we're looking at right now, 41-24, the Portland Pilots leading the Gales. We're moments away from the start of the second half. Gales on the floor warming up. Pilots coming out any minute now and have that big lead. Come on back. Pilots leading St. Mary's 41-24. You look at St. Mary's, J-Mo, and Wheaton really the only one that has hurt Portland. They're going to have to get some points from Bamberger, Holland, Dalton if they're going to have a chance.
Well, they certainly need to get other people involved. And I mean, they've had 4 people in double figures throughout the season. You know, if you're Portland, these next few minutes are crucial. You don't want to let St. Mary's back in this very quickly. Smart offensive possessions. You got to have defensive stops. But you're right. If you're St. Mary's, they need to get more people involved, and they need to pick up the tempo just a little bit.
Holland is usually a player that has really good success against this Pilot club, but right now she's been very quiet. And Bamberger, without question, impacted by the presence of Lucy Cochran. She will not go away, that's for sure. She's going to have to figure out a way to maneuver around Cochran. No easy feat.
Well, I think you pull her out a little bit and see what happens. You know, they are in a zone most of the time, so that becomes a little bit different, but I would put her in the mid-range or in the perimeter a little bit. Good take by Alex Fowler right off. Oh,
heartbreaker there. She blew right by Bamberger, but ball kicked around that rim and spit out.
I don't know how that didn't go in.
So third quarter underway here at the Child Center. Gales with a big hole to try and climb out of. But there's Holland, again, a player that has experienced good success against the Pilots in the past. Only 4 points now for Holland. She usually gives you 11.
That's her game, though, that mid-range area.
You bet.
Really confident. I mean, it's real smooth.
I like her.
Portland, you want to keep her out of the paint.
Good player.
Nice cut.
Mulheim misses at the rim, so the Pilots have missed high percentage shots to open up the third quarter.
Well, not a start that you want if you're Portland, but quality shots just not falling. And
nice block out, and that ball finds the hands of Mulheim, but it was just a good collective block out. So Bamberger picks up the foul, her first. Make it 2 on Bamberger. Team's first.
Well, she picked up a quick one in that first quarter. And if you're Portland right now, I go right at her, pick up her third,
that's right,
have her
that's
sit
right.
on the bench.
Mulheim triple rimming out. Bamberger again leads this club in points at 15.5, boards at 9, blocks at 15, but it's been quiet so far. Transfer out of UW.
Yeah, she's really had a hard time getting quality looks. Again, I think Cochran's really just done a nice job of altering her game.
So Mulheim picks up her second. She'll quickly go to the bench, and Burnham, who is the offensive star off the bench, back on the floor for the Pilots.
Well, the nice thing right there is I think you lose a three-point shooter. Not that Macy can't shoot it, but you get a little bit more dynamic scorer.
Big stick by Dalton, 41-29. Boy, did the Gales need that, and she had some room and time to get that shot off.
Good timeout by Coach Meek here, just to regroup.
So a nice start to the third quarter for the visiting St. Mary's Gales, but it's still a double-figure lead for the Portland Pilots, 41-29, early in the third. early in the third quarter here at the Child Center, home of the Portland Pilots. Pilots leading St. Mary's 41-29, 8:25 left to go in the third quarter. Pilots led by 17 at the half thanks to a 14-2 run, but credit St. Mary's, they've come out with a purpose to start this third quarter.
Yeah, not the start that you want if you're Portland. You miss 2 open layups, you give up a 3 and then a mid-range jumper, and giving them the momentum right from the beginning of this third quarter.
Burnham using that strength. Boy, has she had herself a game. 13 points, 2 off of her season best.
Well, just nice job of creating a shot for herself.
So strong on that low block. Taking a page out of Haley's book. Dalton keeps the ball alive and now goes inside. Great look, and Bamberger unable to hit the layup. That hurts.
And she's just 2 of 11 from the field.
Fowler, as Dalton got her. Her first, team's second, and Fowler will go to the line.
You know, that's what Cochran adds right there. I mean, Bamberger normally probably gathers and goes a little bit slower, just with a little bit, more strength, but she's trying to get rid of it so quick that she, shorthanded it right there.
Fowler, again, a good free throw shooter, leads this team in makes and takes. Struggling a bit tonight from the free throw line, but she does have 9 points. Gives you 18 a pop to go along with 8 rebounds, leads the club in both of those categories.
I mean, the thing about Fowler, look she's at the top of the press. She's just so athletic.
So you looked at Holland coming right down the barrel and saw Lucy, and she thought, oh, I better put this up, and kind of shot that off balance. Good defense by the Gales as Bruno checks in.
Burnham just going a little too quick right there. Great in transition. Got herself caught, stepped on the line.
Yep, she stepped out of bounds. You bet she did. What a game Burnham is having, though. 13 points. She scored 15 a couple of times this year, her first season since transferring from Eastern Washington. What a spark off the bench.
Well, and this lineup right now has a lot of athletes that can make things happen, and there's Whedon right there.
There's Whedon again.
For her 4th three-point shot of the game.
6 triples. Career high for Whedon. She's got 4 right now, and she's not going to quit shooting. Cochran just gets it swiped, and here comes St. Mary's. Inside, Bamberger got it off quickly and scores, and 1. Big hoop for Bamberger.
And right there you saw Lucy Cochran pull to the 3-point line. They go by her right here, and a nice little dump down wraparound pass by Holland. Good finish.
So Cochran's first, second team foul for Bamberger. How much of a confidence booster is that to get it up and over Lucy and draw the foul?
Well, hopefully that'll get her going. Portland not doing a job of blocking that at the free throw line.
Burnham, ooh.
Wow. Good hands right there by Burnham.
So Whedon picks up her 3rd foul. That's huge. Another good play by Burnham again on both ends of the floor. She's impacting it.
And I don't think, you saw right there, pretty physical, but good job just getting your hands on that, creating that turnover. Coach Thomas right now not looking to take her out.
Bruno dumping it inside. Cochran, the little flip. Swipes it, but right to the Gales, and Dalton wants to push.
And Portland just not getting quality shots.
Ooh, 3 shots coming up for Dalton.
Ooh. Certainly don't want to have that at the defensive end. Fouling a 3-point shooter.
Yep.
There's a lot of time left in this ball game, and just right now the momentum going towards St. Mary's, getting quality shots, pushing the tempo, and Portland needs to get some ball swings instead of going one-on-one.
So there's the first of 3 for Dalton, an 82% free throw shooter. And this is the closest St. Mary's has been in a while. They've got to feel great about the first couple of minutes of this third quarter.
Oh, absolutely.
So 3 straight free throws by Dalton. 8-0 run in a buck-5. So St. Mary's taking a page out of the Portland Pilot book with a big run quickly, and the lead is down to 7.
Well, you got to see how you're going to respond. And again, a lot of one-on-one right now instead of getting ball swings. Goes right back to St. Mary's here. Portland desperately needs a defensive stop.
Momentum all with the Gales right now, breaking the press. Mastura and Bamberger looking for help. Inside look. 3 seconds, you bet, and that's just Fowler staying home.
Yeah, good defense by Alex. You know, a lot of post players try to kind of put their hands over and lean, and she just walled up and did a great job of forcing that 3-second call.
11 turnovers now for St. Mary's. They average 18 cough-ups. I'll tell you, this is one of the better games Kaitu has had in a while. 7 points now.
You're absolutely right, Ann, and just confident. She's catching the ball. Quick little one dribble move, up and under moves, shoots the 3. Good hands by MJ right there. Got numbers.
Meek wants to dump it inside to Fowler. Cutting. Kaitu had a good look, but just off balance.
She did.
Kirasomi inside. Bamberger uses that strength and gets it home.
Now that's the Bamberger that we're used to seeing. One dribble, just strong power move.
Transfer out of Washington now has 9 and 7. Leads this team in points and rebounds. Coming alive in the third quarter. Ball will belong to St. Mary's on the miss.
And St. Mary's is 3 of their last 3 from the field. And if you're Portland, you got to get a defensive stop and a presence going here.
So St. Mary's trailed 41-24 at the half, but had felt pretty good about this third quarter. The lead is now just down to 7 for the Pilots. St. Mary's back in it. The Pied Piper himself here at the game, Portland Pilot head coach Shantae Leggins. Man, you'll see him at any sporting event on campus. It doesn't matter what it is. He just loves going to games and supporting all these teams. What a job he has done, J-Mo, in his first year as the Pilots head coach.
Tremendous job, and I mean, that's one of the reasons why they hired him. It's the kind of guy that he is. He's bought into making this athletic program, not just the basketball team, the athletic program known throughout the West Coast Conference, and his team is improving and getting better and better. Huge win against USF the other night.
Oh, on the road.
Yep.
On the road. You look at the two hires in the basketball programs for the Pilots. Travel right there. Mastora got away with it. You look at what Scott Lakem has done to get Mike Meek here on the Bluff and then Shantae Leggins. My goodness, Scott, well done.
That and all the facilities that they have. And there's Bamberger right there again. 11 points on the night, and right now Portland 2 of 9 in the quarter from the field.
Bamberger took it right at Cochran and scored.
Yeah, the last 2 times she's attempted a field goal, it's a completely different player.
Yep. Mastora picks up that foul, her first, team's fourth.
And St. Mary's is on a 12-2 run in the last 3:15 in the quarter.
Totally different team on the floor, St. Mary's, in this third quarter. Totally different team.
Well, I think their defensive pressure has picked up. They're getting really good looks offensively. A couple different players stepping up. I think Bamberger's been really good.
Nice job, Mastora, coming out of that scrum with the ball. Gales down by 5.
There's that mid-post.
Catch, shoot, 3. Wheaton's got 5 triples, 1 off of tying her career high, and 17 points.
I'll tell you, she's got one of the quickest releases in the conference. And then if you're Portland, you got to make her put it on the ground.
Cutter, Flug, goes up against Bamberger, and a wall, and a chance for St. Mary's to tie or take the lead. When you've got Wheaton on the floor, there's a chance to take the lead. Foul on Mulheim. That's her third. Team's fourth.
We'll take a quick look at it here. Just 2 hands, you're trying to go for the steal. You got to play position defense. And that's where Portland's got to make adjustments. It's not necessarily just offense. You've got to make some changes defensively and really put more pressure and not give the opportunities that they're giving. There's good hands right there by Shear.
She's got a couple of blocks, tipped that shot, Fowler back on the floor, Frawley back on the floor for the Pilots is where Cochran rimming out, heartbreaker, Bamberger with the big board, covers it up, and here comes St. Mary's. Boy, the Pilots have been frigid from the floor.
One of their last 8 from the field. Oh, there's another block
Cochran,
right there.
Another rejection. She's got 6. Offensive rebound. You got to tip your cap. Croco will give St. Mary's a chance again to tie or take the lead.
And that's the 11th offensive board on the night. Like we talked about, rebounding is a huge staple for this program.
Got to put it up. Oh, man, you're not kidding. I thought Mastora had herself a miracle there. $1:45 left to go in the third quarter, a quarter that St. Mary's has dominated to get back in this thing, only down by a deuce.
Well, I think if you're Portland, you really got to look to Fowler. You got to get your best player on the floor the ball.
No question. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Flug muscles it in.
Well, that ends a big drought right there. They had almost 3.5 minutes of not scoring, and just a great job of penetrating and finishing strong. Could have actually got a little old-fashioned and one right there.
So Shear picks up that foul, her second, team's 5th. Boy, Rose with only 4 points. Remember, she ended the half with that buzzer beater layup, and that was a big hoop for the Pilots to stop the bleeding a little bit. Whedon, who has made a living at the three-point line, gets the first one home. She's an 88% free throw shooter, gets them both. What a game for Whedon. Fowler wants to put the ball on the deck against Bamberger. Flug coming alive, baby, coming alive. She's got 7.
Big bucket right there. I'll tell you, in the last few games, she's made big plays for these guys.
Ooh. And Fowler got hit hard in the face. Whedon picks up that foul. It's her 4th.
That's a big foul right there.
And a silly foul by Whedon. She obviously will take a seat this last 51.8, but Thomas is going to have to be judicious about how much to use her and when in that 4th quarter with the 4 fouls.
I think if you're Coach Thomas, you got to sit her for the first few minutes. You have to have her on the floor at the end of the game.
Fowler missing that first free throw.
You know, they went on a 15-2 run, and since then are 0 for their last 4 from the field.
Fowler gets 1 of 2, 10 points now for Fowler as per usual in double figures, but still they're going to need more offense from their leading scorer.
Well, this is where the defensive pressure, again, got to pick it up without fouling and putting them at the free throw line. Good help by Lucy.
Good defense by the Portland Pilots, and Holland is down and very slow to get up. Shot clock off, game clock at 12. Pilots can't take too much time to get something going here if they're going to get something quality. So that'll do it. The Pilots will take a 6-point lead into the 4th quarter, but St. Mary's did a great job of climbing back into this thing, trailing by 17 at the half. Gales right back in it. 52-46 after 3. How about this stick by Rose? Yeah, Fluke doing it. Mike Meek fired up to end the 3rd quarter. He's still prowling the Pilot sidelines. He knows all too well the lead that his club has kind kind of let slip away, J-Mo, and this fourth quarter could be something.
Well, they let it slip, but then they responded at the very end, giving themselves a six-point cushion going into the fourth. You know, sometimes a coach gets fired up like that to get their team fired up. So I don't mind that passion and that energy from him.
So the Gales will start the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken, Jen, without Whedon, who's leading this club in scoring, but has the 4 personal fouls.
Yeah, you got to sit her for a little bit. And there's that offensive board right there. We talked about rebounding being a big factor. Good cut. Good hands by Frawley.
St. Mary's just gobbling up offensive rebound after rebound, but they missed a chance to draw ever closer. Quick stick inside by Fowler. Great way for the fourth quarter to start for Portland.
And that's exactly what Portland needs. She did that by running the floor, getting position down early, and you got to go to your kid that has really carried you for years. Like, she's got to get the ball.
Burnham's first.
You can see her getting position down there, restricted circle. Good job just to catch and finish.
She didn't wait. She didn't wait for the defense to get position. She just went right up.
Yep.
So the lead back to 8 for the Pilots. A couple of different times in the third quarter, the Gales had the ball to either tie or take the lead, but couldn't take advantage. And without Whedon on the floor, their triple threat, I'm not going to say is non-existent, but way down.
Yeah, completely different. This is where quality possessions offensively.
Frawley.
Good patience by Frawley. I like the use of the clock a little bit. Good job. Good job by Portland offensively.
Mastora with her second foul. First team foul. So Whedon, interesting. And Holland, the leading assist. Holland's got 8 helpers. And Whedon with all those points and 1 for Burnham. 15 now for Burnham, and if she hits this free throw, it'll be a career high, season high.
Well, it didn't look like St. Mary's was actually even ready for that out of bounds possession. Portland just being heads up right there, got the ball in, and Burnham with the nice finish.
Dalton picked up her second. Burnham not able to complete the 3-point play. With the lead back to 10.
And your coach Thomas, you probably, you need her in the game and really probably talk to her and make sure you don't pick up a quick one here.
Dalton now with 10 points. That's 1 over her seasonal average. She's had a solid game. Meek, a little short on that shot. And here comes St. Mary's. Let's see if Whedon can get a couple of looks to get her club back in it. Catch, shoot, rimming out there. Cochran with the board.
Good rebound by Cochran.
That release of Whedon's is...
Oh, it's quick.
Woo. Lucy, 20-footer.
And she's got 8 points on the night.
To go along with all those blocks. She's almost at a double-double with points and blocks.
Yeah.
Bamberger. Ooh. The hesitation gave herself a little room to maneuver, and she draws the foul. Cochran gets her.
Take a look here. Nice job in the trail spot, and that's a shot she can take. That mid-range jumper, she's very comfortable pulling it.
So here's Bamberger. Her dad was an absolute stud at St. Mary's in men's basketball. 1,000-point scorer, and basically her going back to St. Mary's is going home, transferring from Washington, gets 1 of 2.
Well, you love a story like that. Number one, get to go back home, get a chance to play at a really good program, good fit for her after coming off that injury.
12-9 for Bamberger now after a quiet first half. So Bamberger picks up her third, team's third. She's going to have to be careful. Remember, Whedon's playing with 4.
Well, Alex does such a good job of getting position down low, and that's where that foul occurred, is just battling.
Fowler, nice block inside by Bamberger on the release. Whedon has got to track it down and does. Good save.
Good hustle.
Ball kicked, and here come the Pilots. Meek all the way in and scores.
Unfortunate for St. Mary's right there. Just got a, I don't know if somebody got a hand on it or foot, but went the other way for an easy transition bucket.
So everything going Portland's way. It's interesting, it was a 22-11 advantage for the Pilots in the second quarter. The Gales, by that exact tally, take over the third quarter, but the Pilots, with a strong start to the fourth quarter, 2 more for Burnham, a season high for Burnham. The transfer from Eastern Washington has been terrific off the bench.
And there she was down low, posting up in that guard spot like we talked about with Andrews being out of the ball game.
So it's 62-49, the Pilots with the lead. Here comes the break. Meek is going to finish. Strong fourth quarter start for the Pilots. Beautiful day, beautiful evening here in the Rose City. We're at the Child Center where the Pilots lead the visiting Gales 62-49. 6:42 left to go in the fourth quarter. Terrific start to this final stanza for the Pilots.
Yeah, great little run here to start the fourth quarter, giving themselves a 13-point cushion. And really it's fueled by their defense, taking away opportunities for the Gales and doing a nice job of the defensive boards.
Pilots starting this quarter on a 10-3 run. Gales looking to get back in it. You know they can stay in anything with Whedon on the floor. Look at that play. Burnham with the game of her career for the Pilots. She just keeps adding to it. 19 now for Burnham. Remember at Eastern Washington, her career high was 25.
Well, and those live ball turnovers, Coach Thomas talked about it, will kill him. And silly foul by Rose Flug right there.
Yeah, she knows it. That's her second. Let's talk a little bit more about Burnham, who is having in Pilot gear the game of her season off the bench. Remember, Haley Andrews is gone for the year with that knee injury. Burnham has stepped up tonight in a big way.
She really has. I mean, defensively, like we're seeing steals, deflections, and then, you know, transition points, posting up down low, and there's a nice cut by Bamberger. She's had a nice second half. She's got 14 points and 10 rebounds.
Another double-double for Bamberger, 7 on the season. What she did earlier in the year, she had 20 boards against San Jose State, and the next game she had 19. So she goes 22-20 and then 25 and 19 as Flug gets it down. But that's the impact that Bamberger has had for the Gales. Boy, and Flug just continues to do her job, doesn't she?
Just has been solid. And that's exactly what Portland needs. Portland needs production. Oh, there's the 8th block for
Another
Cochran.
block. Cochran's got 8. Remember, she's had 2 games where she's had 9. Great play inside by Holland.
And I think she twisted her ankle down here a couple plays ago. She was down for a few minutes.
Holland has been so great in the assist department. I think she's got 8 or 9 helpers tonight, leads this club in assists, and she's walking off gingerly.
9 assists right now on the night. And almost a great play right there, just got called for the travel.
So Cochran has had herself a game. Look at the cut by Fowler, back door, can't get it home. Here comes St. Mary's. But what a fourth quarter. Bamberger, 2 more.
Well, and the reason why they're having success with that is they're pulling Cochran out from underneath the basket.
16 points for Bamberger, had a quiet 5 in the first half.
Yeah, good second half.
Shear, triple, you bet. Oh man, that hurts if you're St. Mary's. First points of the game for Shear, and it's a 3-ball.
I know that's her first basket of the game, but she's done so many other things at the defensive end to change and just deflections. She's so athletic and so active in the press.
There were 2 different times in the third quarter that St. Mary's had the ball with a chance to tie or take the lead after trailing by 17 at half. Portland withstood that body blow, both of those body blows, and look at the score now.
Yes.
This is a dominant fourth quarter.
Yeah, 17-7 run in the quarter so far, and again, it's fueled by their defense. They're not giving them opportunities, a lot of pressure, and then quick decisions, transition buckets, and just decent, great shots in the offensive end. And it's a collective effort. It's not one person. And Maisie Burnham obviously has had a great night, but it's multiple people. Shear hits the 3. Flug comes in and does a good job. Fowler is just Fowler. She's got 12 points on the night. Quiet 12, I think, but she's just done her job. Great team effort by Portland so far.
The last 4 games for Flug, she's averaged some 9 or 10 points a game. She's right there again today. She has been huge stepping in for Haley Andrews.
Well, the thing that's really nice about that is, a lot of times, good take, a player will come in and try to do too much, and she's just been solid.
Cochran, Bamberger, jump ball, possession arrow favoring the Pilots.
Good effort by Bamberger right there.
Man, what a second half she has had.
Yep.
Wow. She and Whedon have been really special for St. Mary's tonight. And Portland has been hot from the floor, 5 of their last 6. Scoreboard says the story is true. Another triple try, way short for Shear. And Burnham gets great inside position on that weak side rebound and draws the foul from Mastora. Her 3rd, team's 4th.
Well, same look that Shear had just previous. And like you said, a great job of Burnham on the opposite glass, just doing a good job of getting herself in position.
Cochran picks up her 3rd, team's 4th.
Well, if you're St. Mary's, 3:42 left to go in the game. You've got to go a little bit quicker here. Try to create off the bounce, kick, get some good looks, go to Bamberger or hit some 3s. But if you're Portland, you want poised offensive possessions. You do not need to go fast. Ah, you saw that coming.
Boy, you sure did. And there's Fowler releasing. Meek's going to take her time.
Oh, good catch.
What a job. The athleticism of Fowler to go get that ball and slip it off the glass. 14 now for Alex.
That was a great catch.
And smart job by Meek to wait until Fowler had good position and hit her on that lead hand. Whedon, another triple.
And that's her 6th on the night.
Ties her career high as far as 3 balls are concerned. Boy, what a job she has done, again from nearby Milwaukee, Portland metro area, friends and family watching Whedon, the all-time leader in triples for St. Mary's, have herself a night.
And she's got 20 points on the night.
Her career high is 24 as Kroko picks up the foul. Team's 5th.
Lucy Cochran at the line, shooting 2.
What a game for Whedon. How much fun is that to come home and do this in front of all of your family and friends?
And she's got quite a following behind that bench right there.
And this kind of effort tonight gives her a real shot at becoming the WCC all-time leader in career triples.
Yeah, she has a couple more games where she has breakouts. She's going to pass Jess Malone. Ooh, that was in and out.
Boy, it sure was. Unselfish. Whedon makes the extra pass. That was in and out. Another offensive rebound. And one. Good job by Kroko. And relentless has St. Mary's been on the offensive boards.
Well, I've mentioned it all night. That's something that they're known for. And just, especially when you're not hitting shots, you've got to go get it. And that's exactly what she did.
So Frawley gets her. A chance for an and one for Kroko. She's from Lebanon, Oregon, so a couple of Oregonians on this St. Mary's team. (71-58), 2:22 left to go in this 4th and final quarter.
Good job being smart, just using clock. Get some ball swings, get the defense to shift.
Cochran all those blocks, Burnham all those points off the bench. Fowler being Fowler. Flug in double figures again. What a game for Rose Flug. Quiet to start this game, and now 11 points for Rose.
And Portland 7 of their last 9 from the field, just quality shots.
Shear just staying close to Whedon. Looked like the ball went off of the Pilots, but instead they'll say, will the officials, that it's Portland's ball with $1:40 left to go.
Number 3, Leah Hannafin. Number 21, Hannah Rapp. And number 25, Ashton Garrison. In for the Pilots, number 23, Liana Kaitubu. And number 21, Emily Sewell. Replacing Alex Fowler.
So Fowler will have a seat. What a game for Alex. Kind of quiet, but dominant all the same.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I've been really impressed again with Flug. Poised, handling the ball, handling the pressure, running the club, and making big plays when she needed it.
You know, we expect so much of her. We just expect so much of Fowler. So she'll sit. 2 on the shot clock. 14 points for Fowler, the 4 boards. Again, kind of quiet, and yet there she is.
Well, that's just the kind of player that she is, and an unselfish player. I mean, there were a lot of people that contributed, and, you know, she didn't force anything, just took quality shots and had a good game.
Flug will take a seat. Last 5 games, she has averaged some 10 points a game. Kaitu with the foul. This game is well in hand for the Pilots, but in that 3rd quarter, it was definitely in the balance as St. Mary's came back like a house of fire. Portland withstood every rally St. Mary's had in them.
Well, and that's where you find the character of your team, the quality of this group. Again, basketball is a game of runs, and St. Mary's did a great job in that 3rd quarter, but the response by Portland, again, a collective team effort, and just people making big plays, and their defense really stepped up.
This is a great win for the Portland Pilots, J-Mo. I know there's $1:06 left, but I like what that score is indicating, and this is a win they had to have as they know they're going out on the road.
I agree. I mean, I've talked about it all night. This was a must-win for them at home, and I think the response, you know, in this 4th quarter is really going to be something that they look at because they had so many people contribute, and if you're Coach Meek, I think you're really happy with your bench.
Just a solid team effort by the Portland Pilots. You mentioned the bench, starters coming alive. And Meek picks up her first.
I mean, right now, this evening, the bench has 37 points. and just a tremendous effort.
Earlier this season against Evergreen, the Pilot bench scored 54. This is a different Gales club, though. For the bench to come alive like this and give some relief to the starters against this quality team is huge.
It really is. I mean, this is a team that knocked off Santa Clara both games last week. And again, in that bunch that's really vying for that 3rd and 4th spot. So this is a huge one.
St. Mary's coming into this game having won 3 straight. That streak will end, and the Pilots will walk it out. Crowd will tell the story. And the final, Pilots taking care of a very good St. Mary's club, 73-63, big win for the Portland Pilots.
Great team win and a great effort from the bench. I know we keep talking about it, but I mean, that's a tremendous effort, and that's what they're gonna need. That gives them confidence. That gives Coach Meek confidence in them, being production-wise. I mean, just people coming in and making plays. And really, the more depth he has going towards the conference tournament, the greater chance they have of doing a great job.
You look at this Portland Pilot club still adjusting to life without Haley Andrews. This is a big boost.
Oh, for sure. And again, I think it starts with Flug at the point guard spot. I mean, she's really done a good job of just being solid, not trying to do too much, be the hero type of thing, just doing what she does. And I think she's been super effective. Pull-ups, posting up. She's hit a couple threes. I mean, really just all around doing a great job of running the club.
Flug, one of 3 in double figures for this Pilot bunch. Burnham with 19, Fowler with 14, Flug with 11. But how about Cochran with a near triple-double? 8 points, 6 boards, and 8 blocks. Come on.
I know. I mean, what a difference maker. I mean, not only just rim protector, but like, she just offensively helps them. She's got great moves down low, and then that rim protection is huge.
All right, Maisie Burnham, thanks for slipping on the headset. Let's talk about this game and your performance. How huge of a victory is this for your Portland Pilot club?
You know, it's a big one. We just keep trying to win one game at a time, you know, to do the best we can.
I mean, what did Coach Meeks say at halftime going into that 3rd quarter? You know, you guys had a little bit of a slow start, but what kind of adjustments did you guys make against some of the stuff that they were doing offensively?
Yeah, I think a big thing for us is if we just keep our energy high and do what we do on the defensive end, and a big thing for us was taking away the 3 this game. So I think we just controlled what we control, and it was working for us.
All right, Maisie, you finished with 19 points. That's the best effort in a Portland Pilot uniform. As you become more acclimated to the system, Mike's system, and WCC play, what are you learning about yourself as a basketball player?
You know, I'm learning a lot, but it's also great to be surrounded by so many great players that allow me to do what I do. I mean, to have such great players on the team, to take some off them, then it helps a lot.
The bench had 37 points tonight, which is a big production compared to maybe a month ago. What have you guys talked about in the locker room as far as other people stepping up with Andrews being gone? Not that everybody has to be a hero, but production-wise, things that you guys need to do to get better.
I think everyone controlling what they can control and then just working the hardest out there is what makes us the best team, and we're so selfless, and I think that's what makes us work out there.
All right, Maisie, you're from Spangle, Washington.
Yes.
Population, I don't know, 300 or 400, something like that. All right, under-recruited. How did you end up here playing big-time WCC basketball?
You know, I just thank Coach Meek for giving me a chance, and I'm blessed to be here. It's the best community, and it was the best decision for me, so I'm very thankful.
All right, you're going out on that big road trip. Congratulations on a huge win today. It's a big one for you and the Pilots.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Maisie Burnham with a season-high 19 points. She was huge at the line. Also defensively, J-Mo, she had herself a game to remember.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see more of this moving forward because that's the kind of player that she is. She rebounds, she defends, she can score inside out. Really didn't see her shoot the 3-point tonight, and that's something that's in her repertoire as well, but great, great effort by her.
All right, so J-Mo, This was a big one. We keep mentioning because a 4-game road trip awaits this Portland Pilot Club, and you're looking at the schedule.
Well, it's the Bay Area trip. I mean, you're going to San Francisco, at Santa Clara, and then to play these guys at St. Mary's. Tough place to play. This is a hard road trip. That's why this was so important to get a win at home. And then, of course, Pacific as well. I'm sorry, I missed that one. But 4 big games on the road, and that's the chunk of USF, Santa Clara, and St. Mary's right behind them in the standings.
Well, and then Portland will wrap up the regular season with a couple at home, but these next 4 loom, and they are big because they are on the road. The numbers were really interesting. Credit St. Mary's for coming back with a great third quarter, but all in all, this was a game that the Pilots have got to feel good about.
I think you look at field goal percentage, they did a nice job of getting quality shots. They shot better from the three-point line, and really I like the fact that they didn't take a ton of them. They were 4 of 12 from the three-point line. Rebounding-wise, I think that's something that they'll look to address because in the first half, they really had a nice little advantage going into the halftime. Assists, 19 assists, and then I might want to say one of their lower turnover percentages for the night, 14 turnovers, which is really good. They've had a problem taking care of the ball at times and really did a good job. Overall, again, great team win.
Can you say enough about Cochran? Can you say enough about the transfer from Oregon?
The thing about her is, like, you watch her play, and she's not this flashy, really athletic, post player, but she's just so solid. She's got great timing, great skill set. She can run, good size, obviously, and just kind of plays the game. Doesn't really do too much flashy, but just great timing.
So the 8 blocks, you kind of get accustomed to her rejecting stuff. What I like is she's looking for her shot more. She's not deferring to Alex or anyone else. If she's open, she's looking for it.
Well, the great thing with those two is they can play off of each other. If Alex is down low, she's in that mid-range game, and we saw her hit that in the trail. She's got that in her repertoire. And then flip-flop. Alex is shooting the 3. So they become a really hard tandem to guard. And, you kind of pick your poison of what you're going to do offensively or defensively, if you're the opponent.
All right, so that's a wrap from the Bluff. The Pilots defeating St. Mary's 73-63. Huge win for the Pilots. They moved to 6-3 in WCC play. They solidify their third place position in conference standings. And as we mentioned, a critical 4-game road trip awaits. For J-Mo and our entire broadcast crew, I'm Ann saying so long from the Child Center. Thanks for watching WCC Women's Hoops with us. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a terrific weekend.